Hello, everyone. This is Jerome Waddle, and today we're going to talk about the history and meaning of Valentine's Day. We'll also discover the meaning of love and what the definitions of love are. So I hope you'll enjoy it. Thank you. So, the history and meaning of Valentine's Day. First thing I did was ask AI. Valentine's Day has multiple origins, including a Roman festival, the martyrdom of a Christian priest, and the story of a love letter. So as you can see, the Lupercalia, there's a fertility festival where they sacrificed a goat and a dog, and they slapped women with a goat's hide. The Feast of Fertility, where men would whip women with the hides of sacrificed animals to promote fertility. And the martyrdom of a Christian priest, such as Saint Valentine, which was a Catholic priest who was executed by Emperor Claudius II for performing weddings in defiance of the emperor's orders. And there's also a Saint Valentine of Terni, a bishop who was executed for helping Christians escape Roman prisons. There's also a love letter to Julia. It says Valentine wrote a letter to his jailer's blind daughter, Julia, the night before he was executed. Other origins, matchmaking lottery paired men and women together for the duration of the festival. Many churches and monasteries claim to have relics of St. Valentine. These celebrations, Pope Gelasius in the late 15th century declared February 14th a day of remembrance for St. Valentine. So this is the 5th century. The Roman interpretation of the Greek god of love, Eros, which became the matchmaker mascot on Valentine's Day. You've heard of lovebirds too, I'm sure. I also found a site, it's actually a travel site. I liked their presentation. So they asked who was St. Valentine, why is he celebrated? The better question is who were. It turns out Valentine, Valentini are very common names. And it could be 12 to 14 St. Valentines, such as the Spanish hermit, a woman named Valentina, Valentine of Rome, the Emperor Claudius, which I discussed before, Valentine of Tyrrhenia, a bishop martyred under Emperor Claudius, Valentine of Africa, he was martyred in the Roman province of Africa. If you go to the Roman church in Santa Maria in Cosmedin, there's the skull of the ancient Roman martyr named Valentine. Saint Valentine, the love connection. Geoffrey Chaucer has nothing to do with Roman martyrs, finally. However, he has a lot to do with English literature, and he created a connection between Saint Valentine and love celebrations. And his first written connection was the poem Parliament of Fowls, or Birds, written in the late 14th century. So he appears to invent the correlation that Valentine's Day equals love. I'll be reading just a brief condensation of the Parliament of Fowls later on in the presentation. And then we go from Rome to romance. And so real life lovers begin to send each other love poems on February 14th. And people have been writing Valentines for over 500 years. And modern day, of course, you send stationery, chocolate, flowers, jewelry. Billions of dollars are spent. And in South Korea and Japan, Valentine's Day is split into two events. February 14th, the women's give chocolates. A month later, on March 14th, known as White Day, men return with gifts of more expensive, such as jewelry, white chocolate, and even clothing. Italy, Valentine's runs deep. And modern lovers visit romantic spots like Verona, the home of Shakespeare's Juliet, where they leave love letters or padlocks on Juliet's balcony as symbols of commitment. Wales celebrates St. Dewan's Day on January 25th. Couples exchange carved wooden spoons. South Africa, a Roman tradition called Lupercalia, by pinning the name of their crush or love interest on their sleeve, literally wearing their hearts on their sleeve. France, known as one of the most romantic countries, France used a lottery of love where men and women could find matches. Though now banned, it remains another quirky piece of Valentine's history. And Saudi Arabia, where it's illegal, there's a black market for red roses and heart-shaped chocolates. Denmark, instead of red roses, they exchange white flowers called snowdrops. And men send humorous poems. And women try to guess their admirers' identities. Philippines is a popular date for mass weddings. Hundreds or even thousands of couples gather in public spaces to tie the knot in ceremonies. Brazil celebrate Lovers' Day on June 12th. The day is marked with gift music festival, as February is dedicated to carnival celebrations in Brazil. So we talked about Chaucer and how he started it all kind of with his poem, The Parliament of Fowls. So here's the poem. Geoffrey Chaucer's Parliament of Fowls, or Birds. One of the earliest and most famous references to Valentine's Day as a lover's holiday appears in Geoffrey Chaucer's late 14th century dream vision poem called Parliament of Fowls, or Birds. The poem adopts the perspective of a hapless student of love, falling asleep after a day's reading of Macrobius's commentary on Cicero's Somnambulius Scipionis, or the dream of Scipio, revealing eternal truths on the harmony of the spheres and the order of the universe, and not finding the love he was looking for. Love's bookish apprentice enters and proceeds to narrate a dream of his own. While the poem is 700 lines long, this is a short rendition covering the key points. The poem. The Parliament of Fowls by Geoffrey Chaucer. The life so short, the craft so long to learn, the assay so hard, so sharp, the conquering, and thereupon a certain thing to learn. The long day did its pages swiftly turn, the day began to fail, and the dark night that reveals all creatures of their business, bereft of my book for lack of light, and to my bed I begin to address, filled full of thought and anxious heaviness. For I had yet the thing that I wished not, and the thing that I wished I had not got. Yet finally my spirit, at the last full weary of my labor all day, took its rest, sent me to sleep so fast that in my sleep I dreamed there as I lay, how the elder in same self-array, whom Scipio saw, who long ago had died, came and stood there right at my bedside, as between adamantine magnets, too, of even strength, a piece of iron set that has no power to move to or fro, for though one attracts the other, will let it move, so that I knew not whether yet to enter or leave, till that Scipio, oh my God, grasped me and thrust me in the gates wide. With that my hand in his he grasped anon, from which I took comfort and entered fast. And Lord, I was so glad that I had done, for everything that my eyes did cast were trees, clad with leaves that always last, each of its kind, of color fresh and green as emerald, that a joy was to be seen. A garden saw I full of blossoming boughs beside a river, through a green mead led where sweetness evermore bountiful is with flowers, white, blue, yellow, and red, and with cold well streams, nothing dead, which are full of fish, small and light, with red fins and scales silver bright, On every bough I heard the birds sing, angelic voices in their harmony. Some of their fledglings forth did bring, and little rabbits to their play went by, and further all about I spy the fearful row of the buck, the hart, the hind squirrels, and the small beasts of noble kind. And in a clearing on a hill of flowers was set this noble goddess. Nature of branches were her homes, and her bowers wrought according to her art and measure. Nor was there any fowl that she does not gender that was not seen there in her presence to hear her judgment and give her audience. For this was on St. Valentine's Day, when every fowl comes there his mate to take, of every species that men know, I say, and then so huge a crowd did they make, that earth and sea and tree and every lake was so full that there was scarcely space for me to stand. So full was all the place, and as Ella in his complaint of nature describes her array and paints her face in such array, might men there find her. So this noble empress full of grace bade every fowl to take its proper place. And as they were wont to do from year to year on St. Valentine's Day standing there, what can I say? Fowl of every kind in this world have feathers and stature. Men might in that place assembled find before the noble goddess nature, and each of them took care of every creature with a good will in its own choice to make, and in accord its bride or mate to take nature, deputy of the Almighty Lord, who hot, cold, heavy, light, moist, and dry has knit it balanced measure in accord, in gentle voice begin to speak, and sigh foul, heed my judgment now, pray I, and for your case and furthering of your need, as fast as I can speak, I will you speed. You know that on St. Valentine's Day, by my statute, and through my governance, you come to choose and then fly your way, your mates as your desires enhance. But nevertheless, my rightful ordinance I may not alter, for all the world to win, that he is the most worthy must begin. And when this task was brought to an end, each fowl from nature his mate did take in full accord, and on their way they went. And Lord, the blissful scene they did make for each of them, the other in wings did take, and their necks round each other did wind, thanking the noble goddess, kind by kind. But first were fowl chosen for to sing, and was ever their custom, year on year, to sing out a roundel at their parting, to do nature honor and bring cheer. The tune was made in France, as you may hear. The words were such as here you'll find in the next verse I have now in mind. Saint Valentine, who art full high aloft, thus sing the small fowls for your sake. Now welcome summer with your soft sun, that this winter weather does of shake, and with cries when their song was done, that the fowls made as they flew away. I woke, and other books to read upon I then took up, and still I read, always. I hope in truth to read something some day, that I dream what brings me better fare, and thus my time from reading I'll not spare. Okay, what is love? So we have the celebrations and sending gifts back and forth and whatever the history of Valentine's Day is. So what is love? Ancient Greece In ancient Greece, the concept of soulmates is best summarized in Plato's text Symposium, in which he quotes the Greek poet, "According to Greek mythology, humans were originally created with 4 arms, 4 legs, and a head, with 2 faces. Fearing their power, Zeus split them into 2 separate parts, condemning them to spend their lives in search of their other halves." That's the Greek myth. When the Greeks realized that we would encounter many people whom we would love, all the while searching for our other half, they created different words for the different types of love. And there's 8 types of love in ancient Greece, and you've probably heard of some of these. Eros represents romantic, passionate love, and it's often associated with physical attraction. Philia, which is a deep, affectionate love found in strong friendships, characterized by mutual respect and understanding. Storge, which is natural, familiar love, like the bond between parents and children. Agape, selfless, unconditional love for all beings, often considered a spiritual love. Ludus, playful, flirtatious love, often associated with casual relationships. Mania, an obsessive or toxic love. Pragma, practical, long-lasting love based on shared goals and compatibility. And Philatia, love of oneself, self-esteem, and self-worth. So you can see there's 8 types of categories here of what type of love are you having, and you can translate this to families and uh, so you can send your Valentines in different people. It doesn't necessarily have to just be a physical attraction thing. Carl Jung described love as a force, the force that connects people to the world, and that's an attitude that determines how people relate to each other. Love's initiation, falling in love is initiation into the divine, and it's a combination of personal and archetypal forces. Jung believes that love is a personal relationship that develops over time. He believes relationships where people can best express and solidify their potential as individuals. Love and power. Jung believed power without love is abusive, and that love without power is sentimental. He also believed that power is at its best is love implementing justice, and that justice at its best is power, correcting everything that stands against love. Also, there's a wonderful book called Book of Composition that contains the stories of 12 women who underwent profound changes when they encountered a teacher of love. I've included a link to the website. And in our Book of Composition, Chapter 9, Book of Aloha, said attach love to everything. Ask yourself, did I express love? Did I receive love? Source. She said, Source told me that being in a state of love or unity is the doorway to what we call heaven. Love is an essence that is like the glue or matrix or better that unites us all together. Love is our essence. It is who and what we truly are. When we acknowledge the truth that we are all source, we acknowledge the truth that we are all love. And Rumi wrote this way back when, love is all. And here's a video I did quoting his poem. Hello, everyone. This is Jerome Waddle, and today's reading is from Rumi, and it's called Love is All. Love is all there is, and that's not new. I've heard that all my life, and so have you. But love is also that which guarantees that you pass through heaven's doors with ease. So what then is this love? My heart, be still. What more is it than melting of the will into the will of that which can't be known, or snared in mental traps? That bird has flown beyond the clouds of knowing. Now submit. If there's a truth on earth, this is it. Love is that which makes the bitter sweet. Love is that which charms a leaden sheet into a solid plate of gold. Love can heal a wound and cure the ailing man. Love can be kind or harsh. It can expose the cruel thorn, pretending it's a rose. Love, the acid that can smelt a stone. It is the spell that makes the sun postpone. It's tryst with dawn. It can delay the light and grant the lovers that much more of night. Through love, the healer resurrects the dead and bids Sophia to walk with her bed. I had to bring the healer, I say, in. God's love sent him to forgive all sin. Embrace God's love and come to him alone, and make the scaffold of this world your throne. Love knows no king, no slave, no thief, no saint. Love grabs the worst and best without restraint. Love bears us up to answer heaven's call. Would you have guessed? He summons one and all.